On Xbox Game Pass, there is a fantastic selection of indie games. In this video, I will show you some best indie games on Xbox Game Pass in 2021. So without any further ado, let's start this video. The first game of this video is Carto. Carto is very stunning. This adventure game puts you in the role of a little girl on a journey unlike any other you've ever experienced. You see, to explore the environment around you, you need to uncover and position map tiles. And the order in which you set the tiles on your map will influence where you may go exploring. The same tiles can be rearranged to reveal different locations. It's a one-of-a-kind mechanism that works exceptionally well in practice. Next up we have Cris Tales. If you enjoy classic JRPGs, Cris Tales is without a doubt one of the greatest independent titles available on Xbox Game Pass. This stunning RPG transforms the traditional turn-based structure into a contemporary, hyper-stylish adventure that we can't get enough of. In the game, you play as Cris, a young girl who must save the kingdom from destruction by the wicked Time Empress with the assistance of a variety of companions she encounters along the way. Next up we have Hallow Knight. Hallow Knight is what occurs when a Souls-like meets a Metroidvania and is wrapped in a delightfully gothic graphic style. In a word, wonderful. The action is tight and exciting, and the atmosphere is totally captivating. Exploring the planet of Hallow Knight and meeting its surprisingly adorable insectoid inhabitants is a very zen experience, and the combat is tense and satisfying. It's impossible to emphasize how well the light Souls-like elements blend into this side-scrolling action RPG adventure, and it's well worth a try for gamers of all hues. Next up we have Lonely Mountains Downhill. A mountain bike game could be expected to be fast-paced and high-octane, yet Lonely Mountains Downhill is neither of these things. Sure, it's a game about biking across perilous and difficult terrain, but it's one that's more about the trip than the rush. Its magnificent low-poly surroundings are a joy to explore, and even when you're racing against a clock to go from the top of the mountain to the bottom, it's difficult not to want to take your time and soak in everything around you. Next up we have Moonlighter. Moonlighter is unique in that it smoothly blends two very different genres into one holistic experience. It's a dungeon-crawling exploration game as well as a shopkeeping management sim. They're not two things that should go together, yet they do in this case. That's excellent. Basically, your hero spends his nights exploring dungeons, attempting to figure out what the strange tunnels surrounding his house mean. He discovers numerous riches and precious resources while traveling, which he sells in his shop during the day. Next up we have Neon Abyss. Neon Abyss is not just one of the greatest indie games available on Xbox Game Pass, but it's also one of the best roguelike games released in recent years. It's something we can't get enough of. You'll be tasked with navigating a 2D platforming dungeon, with a boss to vanquish at the end. If you succeed, you will advance to the next level, and so on. However, if you die, you'll be thrown back to the beginning. But it's not all bad, you'll receive permanent enhancements as you go. Next up we have Pikuniku. You haven't played anything like Pikuniku before, we assure it. It casts you as well, we're not sure what you are. It's half adventure game, part platformer. What's this, a crimson blob with legs? When you emerge from your cave, the people in the world around you believe you are a monster. But that couldn't be further from the truth. You may appear strange on the outside, but on the inside you're nice and fluffy. So, to establish your non-monstrous personality, you embark on a mission to aid villages in defeating the true evil. A global business. Next up we have What Remains of Edith Finch. It's also available on Xbox Game Pass, which is great news for you. The game takes you on a tour of Edith Finch's magnificent childhood home while telling her narrative. Every area she goes has its own narrative to tell, and you'll learn about her family by playing mini-games and listening to brief anecdotes about each member of her family. Next up we have Slime Rancher. As feathers are to birds, a calm farming game is to the indie genre. Slime Rancher isn't very innovative in terms of this popular kind of game, but it's still a fun time. Taking care of cute slimes and purchasing additional amenities for them by selling their plorts, poops, is a satisfying gameplay loop that keeps the game fresh for hours. Despite being an independent game, Slime Rancher executes its mechanics with AAA precision. And the backpack is the most satisfying tool ever encountered in a farming simulator game to date. The last game of this video is The Artful Escape. The Artful Escape follows Francis Vendetti on a remarkable journey to get the confidence he needs to perform the rock-out, outer space music he so desperately wants to play. He'll have to not only navigate through strange encounters with cosmic creatures, but he'll also have to get out from under his uncle's legendary folk-singing shadow. The Artful Escape is a game that sounds incomprehensible on paper. It has to be experienced to be understood. So that's the list of 10 best indie games on Xbox Game Pass that you can play in 2021. If you enjoy this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel Games Puff and press the bell icon for more gaming videos.